Welcome everyone to another episode of Stud and Dud. Thank you for listening. Presented by the Dallas School of Music. With me each week, Dr. Bob Lawrence. Doc, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Josh. Happy to be here, my friend.
It is great to be here.
Here we go again.
Beautiful day.
Beautiful day.
Beautiful day.
Beautiful day here in the
What's
Dallas.
been up in the last week?
What now?
Anything big? Anything big to think of?
Oh my God.
First thing to think of would be what?
We'll
dive into it. Don't
All
worry.
right.
Don't forget to follow us. We have first 4 episodes.
Baseball, right?
Yeah, right.
No, okay,
yeah,
all
right.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, first 4 now. About to be 5 episodes up on iTunes, iHeartRadio. We got to get them up on the website so people can drive some people up.
That will be going up this week.
Yep, and then we had the first 2 episodes on YouTube, so check us out on YouTube.
Looking
Subscribe
good.
to us, follow. We'll get the 3rd episode up today for sure. 5th episode, as I said, will drop on SoundCloud today, and then it takes about 24 hours for that to kind of follow over and on iTunes. So then it'll be on iTunes essentially tomorrow. But hey, man,
That's awesome.
And I don't forget Instagram.
Up and going.
Got the little teaser for the 4th one with Steve Kent. Great little clip we have up on Instagram.
Was that a great show, or was that?
I loved it. And then we have more clips. We got David Basil on the horizon.
Yep.
You got
Rudy Jaramillo, man. It does not get
any bigger, any more studly.
Oh my gosh.
I can't wait to meet him.
He's already a stud. He's a stud.
Oh yeah. Well, duh. We know this. We're bringing studs on. There's no way we're not bringing studs on. We're just gonna let people know we're not bringing any duds on the show.
No, we hope not to. Right?
All right, on tap today. The NBA regular season did end. Not only we're going to discuss that, I want to go ahead and pick a winner for fun because we're not big into NBA. I know, as in we don't have a team per se. We're not following it year round. Are you?
No, I'm not. No, correct.
Yes,
I'm a passive follower.
Yeah, so I say right now for fun, we'll look at kind of who's available. We're going to pick a winner, and I've already got my winner, and I've got an upset coming.
Oh boy.
Yeah, baby.
So you're not going with the Warriors then?
Right, exactly. Well, the Masters is upon us and underway. The second round's going on right now, which it's not on TV, unfortunately. They don't start till 2, or I'd say that would be on for sure. But it's all right. Okay. Baseball's still fine. But it doesn't come on till 2, so we can't watch it, or I'd say we'd be watching it right now. For sure. So Tiger, 2 under he shot yesterday. We'll get into that. Played pretty well, and what he's done 3 times before he shot 70.
I am shocked.
Of course, our coveted stud. Or also, though, hold on. Besides that, we got to pick our winner. We're going to pick our winner.
Okay.
So don't forget.
All right.
Everyone can throw us into the Stud Hall of Fame after we throw some studs out there, or some duds. But I think we'll be fine. I've already got a couple. The 2 I would have probably picked. Well, we'll get into that though. They're already kind of in the lead. I'm like, wow, of course. Now I'm going to look like I'm picking front runners, but. Anyway, let's dive into it.
You're a bandwagon guy, man. You're a bandwagon guy.
Come on. Here we go. Let's just call Josh. Josh is the dud of bandwagons.
Oh, my God.
I'm not that bad. No, there are some out there that are. We'll get it. That can be a show. Bandwagon fans.
Oh, we definitely have to do that.
Yes, certainly. But first, and I know you want to get into it, the madness of March is now done.
Yes.
Did you watch the women's Final Four and the championship game? Because remember, you were dogging me last week.
Yes, I watched it all.
Did you?
I absolutely did.
See, and I didn't think about it after the show, and you were right at the end. And I was like, when I said the women's Final Four is Sunday, and you said, no, they played. And then you were like, yeah, well, that was the championship game because you're like, they played tonight, and that was the Final Four was actually Friday.
That is correct.
So I had stuff going on. Usually do I almost said fiance. It's so funny. I've been good because there's another thing. When you get married, you know what I mean. It's almost like when your girlfriend, boyfriend, girlfriend forever. When you first become fiance, you still kind of say girlfriend for a while. When you first get married, you kind of say fiance for a while.
Yeah, you better get over that.
I already have. That was the first time I've done that in a while.
Yeah,
it almost slipped. It almost came out.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, my beautiful wife. Friday's usually our day to kind of get out and have some fun.
Yeah, if you don't correct that, you'll be saying ex.
Yeah, whatever. 10 years, I love her to death. She'll be like, "What?" Anyway, she'd laugh. She probably still calls me her boyfriend. Anyway, okay. But yes. Speaking of which, women didn't think much about it till that night, so I can't say I watched it. I did put it on as my point. But I was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot." Doc did say it was on. Two good games. Speaking of which,
good games, right?
Both decided by 5 points.
Yep.
Crazy that they were both decided by 5 points. My team, of course, loses. I went ahead and just went with the logistical. Hey, here's the percentage-wise factor. They lost. UConn is who I'm speaking of. They lost to your Notre Dame Fighting Irish, 81-76. Baylor takes out Oregon 72-67. So great, which I think you called championship game. Baylor versus Notre Dame. I think you literally called that.
Correct.
And then another great game. and I watch it. I put it on Saturday or Sunday afternoon. There was nothing else on. Early tip time, which I love. It was like 4 or 5.
Right. That's right.
Loved it. I was like, perfect. I'm putting this on.
Right.
I switched back and forth between that and WrestleMania, baby.
It was
I had to throw it out there. You should see Doc's face, and I know you're going to catch us on YouTube.
Oh,
he was in mid-thought about going to the tournament, and then I say WrestleMania. And I did put it on for a half a second for fun. But at WrestleMania, I finished. I watched. I cannot believe it was a great game.
You're a closet WrestleMania guy, aren't you?
Well,
I mean, you bring it up as a joke, but you actually.
It's their best one. You know, they try to put on a show. All the other ones they're all pretty terrible.
You actually love it.
I don't. Well, it's just that inner child kind of coming out. I don't like any of them though. I don't like any wrestler. I don't root for anyone. So let's just bury that freaking right now. I don't. I told you Sting, and after that now, but I do have to, for whatever reason, keep up with it. But anyway, back to the championship game.
Yes.
Great game.
Phenomenal game.
Sorry, the Notre Dame lost. I know I hate that for you.
Yeah, it was what's her name, man? Umagumawali or whatever her name is.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Man, Notre Dame had it right where they wanted it. She was on the free throw line. All she had to do was sink two. She was the big studette from last year that won last second shots.
Exactly, because they would have went back to back.
Correct. You could not ask for a better setup, because I actually think if the Irish would have taken them into OT,
they would have won.
They would have won that game.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I mean, certainly could have. I mean, look at Virginia taking Texas Tech in overtime. Texas Tech, I think, could have won right there at the end of regulation. They didn't. And we'll get into that in a second by a lot of aided help. But hey, anyway, regardless, back to this. UConn, and I didn't realize that they haven't won now since 2016, but they did win obviously 3 straight. So it's not like they. There was gaps in between that. They did win 3 straight, which is phenomenal, what they usually do, or do a lot of that, or winning a lot. Right. So they still have, the point being, they haven't won since 2016, so that's kind of an eye-opener. They're always there, though. They're always in the Final Four.
Of course.
But hadn't won since 2016.
It's a premier program.
Oh, gosh. Great program, great head coach.
Correct.
So anyway, though, it was a great game. So couldn't ask for a better Final Four.
The ladies did great.
Yep.
The ladies did great.
Now to the men's, almost as good. I think the games, obviously, guys, it was better. Well, games I think were better. Obviously, it showed 5-5-1, so it's only a separation of 11 points for the women in 3 games.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So anyway, I'm a great Final Four, but seriously, just almost as good, I think, with the men's. Take it all, like I said, with a little bit of help, at least in my eyes. Into the Auburn game, they missed a double dribble.
Horrible.
And then they call that foul, which I know, yes, I guess most of the game, maybe half of it, but I see a lot of that and they don't call fouls. So then I've seen a lot of this lately over the past few years, refs really starting to call stuff at the end of the game where for the longest of times, that was where refs swallowed their whistle and they let them play the game. And you hear that from a lot of players, that's what they want. They don't want those little if it's a foul, like blatant hack, you got to call it. If it's, if obviously NFL, there could be other fouls, but I'm just saying you've just seen a lot of that in a lot of sports where they try to, I'm not saying they try to, but it just seems like they want their voice heard. And they're like, oh, well, and then in the championship game in overtime with the replay, where we're barely nicked off, supposedly they reverse that call.
We have to talk about that because
that's terrible. How long that took. Go ahead and go.
Well, listen, I've always said about instant replay, I have no problem with the refs or the umps reviewing a play. I do think, however, and I just can't understand why this has not been discussed. Maybe it has been discussed. And if it has, I certainly can't understand why it hasn't been approved. I think instant replay should be done in real time. You can look at it from as many perspectives as you want. But the umps back in New York or wherever they claim to be, the referees, that they can watch that rerun in real time from as many angles as they want to, and they have a minute to do it and make the call.
And they should be right there, is my point. They should, the refs or obviously umps, if whatever league you're in, but point being, all go to where he is. He's sitting, obviously, if you're in the basketball, that's where he should be sitting, not up somewhere right there along the press row or where all those guys are, where they have all the monitors, where they always kind of huddle anyway.
Right.
There should be a guy sitting right there with 3 different flat screens with all the different, like you're talking about, angles, and give him about a minute to make up a decision.
And that's it.
And then get on with it.
In real time.
Yeah. And I don't understand.
Don't slow it down and blow up a gazillion pixels and then try to. That's ridiculous.
That it was supposedly I didn't think that was I thought, I'm like, really? And then so on top of all of that, Why aren't you doing that in quarter? You're talking about you're going to call that foul at the end of the Auburn game, supposedly at all. You're going to call, okay, well, you ought to call that in the first quarter, so you got to call it now. Okay, well, why aren't you reviewing a tiptoe out of bounds play in the first quarter? Because those can decide a game. Because if you only lose by one, like in the Baylor Notre Dame game, that earlier in the game I could have scored if it didn't. You get my point. I'm like, then you need to be doing that the whole game, and no one wants that.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm like. I don't want to replay in basketball unless it's the ones which they do use, and it's usually in TV timeouts, or if they need to, like on the time at the end of the game, like, or when they're doing. But then again, you could be doing that the first quarter. Hey, when did the ball? When did you see what I'm saying?
Right.
You should be doing that the whole game then, and then I could actually have 30 seconds on the clock instead of 25.
Why is it more important with 2 minutes to go?
Why?
Right.
Don't understand it.
Yeah, I agree. I think Auburn.
To me, the whole game is important, not just the last 2 minutes.
Correct. I think Auburn got hosed in that.
I do too.
That double dribble call, that's their ball. Game over.
Yeah.
Auburn should have been in the national title game. And then I think, the Texas Tech, that whole thing, glancing off his little finger, that ball should have gone to Texas Tech. That changes that whole game as well.
So I'm right there with you. I just can't stand, and to me, it's always going to be tainted, which luckily I don't remember NCAA championship game, or, that Final Fours. They can be as good as they are. I still have to kind of go, who won last year kind of thing, and kind of look it up, and then I'm like, oh, yeah. But, or else, point being, just one of those things, and luckily I'm not as big as a massive sports maniac as I used to be, where things like this would bother me. I'm like, this is just so... As I'm the injustices of the world, where I should have that little at the end of every episode. But you get my point. Like, This is one of them. This would be pissing me off essentially, and then it did. And I'm like, man, at the end, I remember Sunday. I remember waking up after the game, going, man, Auburn should be in the game tomorrow night. That kind of pisses me off.
Yeah, I really felt for them, man.
And then after the Texas, then I want Texas Tech because Chris Beard, because he used to coach at ULR, where that is my alma freaking mater. So of course I want them to win.
He's a phenomenal coach, man.
Great coach,
dude.
And a miss by the Hogs there. Speaking of my Hogs, I got to throw the bit out.
Here we go.
Anyway.
Oh, here we go.
Anyway.
What are we, like 10 minutes into the show? We're talking about the Hogs.
Well, I just had to bring it up how they missed out on a hell of a coach. But I wanted them to win, and then I felt bad for them. So luckily that's kind of faded off. I'm not worried about it anymore. But yeah, that's one of those things where I can't imagine to be a diehard fan and to lose either one of those games like that.
How's the discussions from Arkansas going
with Musselman?
With Coach K? No,
aren't
they recruiting Coach K?
It's over. They went with Nevada's head coach.
It's over?
Yeah. They didn't go. Yeah.
They didn't go Coach K?
Didn't go Coach K. I wish. Everyone was hoping. They were like, hey, our doc's he's doctor, so, he must know what he's talking about, right? I'm okay with I like it. It's a good hire because he's younger. He's, where he's been in the NBA, what he's done in NCAA. He just led, Nevada, which isn't the greatest or biggest of schools. If you're talking about UNLV, if you think about Nevada of all colleges, when you talk about college basketball.
Right.
So to take Nevada to Sweet 16 or whatever he took him to this year, whatever. Well, anyway, he's done great with them. So, hey.
You think it's a good pick?
It's pretty good. From what was all out there, which the two we tried to get would have probably been pretty good pickups, although I didn't want Sampson from Houston because of his past and his cheating ways, essentially. But the other pick we were trying to get, the guy, oh my God, I forgot his name now. It just slipped my mind. I was just about to say it. The guy to Wichita State. State.
Yes.
It's been there for a few years and has really been great with them. It's kind of last year or two has been kind of back down, but anywho, they were going after, but they both signed extensions where they were at. So obviously our Arkansans were like, I guess it's still Coach K. But no, they were like, okay, where are we going? So that was one of the names right there on the radar. So, hey, I like it. I hate it for Coach Anderson. He did it, but he was here for, almost a decade and kind of did the same thing. He was just at that same consistent stock that really never even did this, never had that explosion to go, hey, there's past history of at least a 30-win, you know what I mean, Elite Eight appearance. If we had that, then totally could be – but I forgot what he did at Missouri. I think he had that at Missouri, which kind of hurts because he went from Missouri to us and, kind of can try to continue that success he had there and really had more success what he had before till his prior coming to Arkansas, he had more success prior. So hate that. It's almost like I hate to even bring up Arkansas, but it's like we're like the curse of the Big Bam beat. Well,
you don't hate to bring up Arkansas.
Well, I was going to say I hate to bring it up compared to the Boston Red Sox or your Cubs, but it's almost like a curse. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like after Nolan left, and he even talked about it in that little documentary they did on ESPN, 40 Minutes of Hell, that was pretty much about how he got. Eddie Sutton got him on the map and amazing and going, which we'll actually have a little something to get into in a minute about the 78 Final Four I have to bring up. But it's a great lead in. But anyway, he fed when you build a beast, you got to continue to feed it. If you don't feed the beast,
right, that's right.
Look
what happens.
Yeah. So and then now it's almost like it's like we got to live up to that. We have this past 20, 25 year run of being great and successful. And now it's like, how are you going to? Hey, you see that though in in college sports cycles. It's very
right.
Things kind of come in and go. Who we got a guest?
Well, yeah, guest coming in. He just got right there on the desk. You can
yeah.
This is Michael Green right here, ladies and gentlemen.
Right there, got the good stuff. What is
that?
that?
He's all
look
right,
at
man.
Overcoat.
Okay, man. I can't wait to see the car. He just put
the best on your stuff.
There we go. Just the best. Only the best. Only the best for Doc.
$80 a bottle.
Wow. And guys, that bottle's the size of
Ultra Shine. I gotta do a shout out for Ultra Shine.
There you go.
Ultra Shine car cleaning. If you're in Dallas,
Boom.
man,
Your cars look beautiful.
Don't they look awesome?
I mean, woo.
Yeah.
Might have to get the Jeep done soon. I'll have to tell you about that.
Okay. We'll see you, Mike.
$80 a bottle, and that thing is the size of a small hair product, people.
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good stuff, I bet.
That's good stuff.
All right. So, but back to what you're talking about. Cycles in all sports. So we'll see if the Hogs even get back there. If they do, I'm not too worried. It'd be great. Who doesn't? I know a lot of Hog fans want to see that, but that's what they're trying to build back to. And just like speaking of, let's kind of go back to where the Hogs were and their great glory days and really their rise.
Is this a Hog podcast?
But I thought it'd be great because
Arkansas Razorback
Sidney
podcast.
Moncrief, you love Notre Dame, so Sidney Moncrief.
Yeah, but I don't talk about them all the time.
You love I know. Well, no, you don't. But Sidney Moncrief. Well, here's a little sorry. These things happen. Like a lot of Hogs things have been happening lately. Someone bring it up.
Okay.
So sorry. So Sidney Moncrief just got into the Naismith Basketball Hall
Wake
of
me
Fame.
when you're done, okay?
No, that dude is a back-to-back NBA Defensive Player of the Year. Sidney, okay, go ahead and sleep over there.
Okay.
That is if I can get that stud on the show.
Oh, I'd love that.
Yeah. So anyway, 1978 Final Four. Do you remember this?
1978 Final Four. Let me see.
Maybe the
I was a junior in high school, so
Okay.
I doubt I remember it.
Well, you were loving some Notre Dame.
Yeah, right.
Well, 1978. You don't remember the Final Four? Notre Dame was in it. It was their first Final
Wait a minute.
Four.
Was that with Michigan State?
No, in 78, which is crazy, talking about the big bad teams of the world that are still doing it. Kentucky, Duke were in the Final Four.
Wow.
Arkansas, Notre Dame were in the Final Four.
In 78?
In 78. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, because let me pull it up real quick.
I thought it was 79. Are you sure it's not 79?
Yeah, it's 78. 1978 NCAA Division I basketball tournament. But yeah, the reason I saw this because, point being, Sidney Moncrief was entered into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame last week with a lot of other greats, with Vlade Divac and go on to other guys. Anywho, it showed on there, led Arkansas to the 1978 Final Four, and then they asked about his, so they interviewed all the players, all the guys afterward, and they said, I wanted to watch it, so they said his favorite moment. And, of course, that was one of the ones he brought up. And I was like, oh, wow, it beat Notre Dame in the consolation game.
I did not remember that.
That's what he brought up. And I was like, oh, wow. So, and it was a great, talk about a great Final Four. Let me just bring it up. Duke beat Notre Dame 90-86. Kentucky beat Arkansas. And funny enough, Kentucky played Arkansas in the Final Four, which now they're in the SEC and they're playing together for the last one,
right.
Which is funny to think. Kentucky beat Arkansas 64-59. So, what's that, 4 and 5, 9 points between those two games. Then the final game, Kentucky beat Duke, which is crazy to think, 94-88, so a 6-point game. And in the consolation game, Arkansas beat Notre Dame 71-69.
Wow.
I mean, you're talking about a hell of a Final Four.
They don't do that anymore, do they?
And that's what I was speaking of, too, that back in the day when they did consolation games. And I was wondering if you remember that. Yep.
Yeah.
Whether they would play for a third-place game, essentially.
Yeah, right.
And I didn't. That's why I was wondering if you remember the 1970s.
You got your phone there, man. Yeah. Who was in the Final Four in 1979? I thought it was Notre Dame. I thought Notre Dame lost to Michigan State. Magic Johnson.
That was 79. I should have known immediately. And that was and what was the last time that it was two first timers in the Final Four? Like last week.
Okay. That was the last time.
Last
Michigan
time that
State,
there were two first timers in the Final Four was the Bird Magic.
Yes.
Finals.
Right. Okay.
Literally.
Okay.
And that obviously Final Four, but then they made it to the finals.
Correct.
And played each other, which
right.
was great.
Right. That was 79.
That was 79.
Okay, so I remember that.
Talk about here. Listen to these semifinalists. People be like, "What? Yeah, semifinal. Here's who else was in the Final Four and in the consolation game. DePaul.
Oh, the Blue Devils.
Penn Quakers. The Penn Quakers.
Wow.
Were in the Final Four. Yeah, literally. What?
Yeah. Do they even still have a basketball program?
I don't even know, but I'll look real quick. Let's see. But yeah, that was who was in the Final Four. The Penn Quakers. There you go. They were 20. The Penn Quakers. That's right. Almost, I was like, that sounds, I know that's right. When you say it, and it's like one of those things when you say it enough, it sounds weird, you know? Have you not done that as,
you don't even have to say it enough. You say it one time and it sounds weird.
25-7 was their record that year. So there you go. That's great. And I'm trying to get to see, they're in the Ivy League. Yeah, so they're still around. They're in the Ivy League. Penn Quakers men's basketball team. Oh, no. Had great success from 1966 to 2007, a period of 40 years. Oh, yeah, and they still do. Penn plays in the Ivy League and NCAA Division I.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
There you go. There you go. There you are, my friend. A little bit of knowledge.
A little NCAA trivia basketball.
Exactly. But I didn't know if you
remember. A look back in time.
Yeah, I didn't know if you remember the 78 Final Four. I didn't.
The 79 obviously. I remember.
So, who does it? Well, you certainly may remember, but I don't. But if you know basketball, you should know the 79 Final Four.
Correct.
It's iconic.
That's
certainly.
right.
Huge. I mean, big time. So no one's going to remember the 78 unless you're a Hog fan or, Kentucky. You get my point for the most part.
Correct.
But I thought that was interesting. The Arkansas played Notre Dame in the consolation game. And then it kind of, anyway, that was a little tidbit of knowledge. I didn't know if you remember that. But old Sidney Moncrief.
Wow.
Yeah. Hey, don't get too excited when you hear hog trivia, man. Come on. All right, so to the Masters. On to the Masters. You've already thought maybe of who you were winning?
Yeah, I got some ideas on that.
Tiger shot.
I'm not a big golf guy, but I got some thoughts on it.
Speaking of which, we need to get out sometime.
Yeah, we'll go out.
Even if it's Topgolf.
Oh, sure.
Love Topgolf.
Yeah, I'm horrible at it. I enjoyed the game.
That's the thing now.
I don't follow golf year round. I do follow it at the big moments. You know, the British Open, the Masters.
Yeah.
So I'm not a real.
The British is that's probably by far, even especially for like my dad and pastime. Even nowadays, you even ask a lot. That's British is like their favorite. It's
that's
iconic.
Right.
It's super. It's old. I mean,
I love watching the British Open.
Well, Tiger kind of teased it, but he shot a 70, so 2 under, and I kind of teased what he's done 3 times before. Well, 3 times he's won the Masters. He shot 70 in his opening round. So we'll see what he can do off of that. He's off today, this afternoon, so he hasn't teed off yet.
Yeah.
But a lot of guys that were supposed to win that a lot of people were looking at kind of fell off. Justin Rose, well, at least on day one, Justin Rose, a lot of people had him to win. He was at 3 over. A lot of people have Rory to win. He shot 1 over yesterday. 2 guys that I have on the list certainly to keep an eye on, and they're off to a great start. And those are the 2 that probably are going to pick. Now in the lead after at least day 1 at 6 under were Brooks Koepka and Bryson DeChambeau. Because they're 4th and 6th in the world. They've had a lot of talent over the last few years, and that's like a lot of people were picking them to win.
Right.
When I was looking this up, so I'm like, man, that great picks. They did, of course, come out and shoot 6 under yesterday, so they have the lead.
It's a long tourney, though, man.
Big time. It's
a long tourney.
Yeah. So today we'll look back, and you get my point. People could be at still 6, 7 under.
Correct.
You get my, or it could be at 10, but I could
the
easily
Masters
see,
is always that. Man, I'm telling you, man, the fireworks happen that last round.
Big time.
So.
Yeah. But those are 2 that I have on the list that I think that those were my go-tos. If I had to pick one winner, it was probably going to be, what's his face? Brooks Koepka. That's my guy. That's the guy I'm picking. Dark horse, honestly, if I had to go with one, because I want to go with a European, I'm going with Jon Rahm. He's been, I know you're like, have you heard the name?
Oh, yeah.
But he's been, for the last few years, he's been, trickling around, been
right.
pretty consistent. So those are the 3 I've got, which obviously 2 are kind of already in league. I even think that Tiger can make a little roar. I don't think he's going to win, but I think he can have that.
You wonder if he's got enough in the tank.
That's the thing. I don't know if his tank's full enough yet.
Yeah, it's a long tourney, and it's
exactly
brutal.
Our guy from North Texas, Jordan Spieth, since having that huge success in 2015, is just kind of fallen off.
Yeah, well,
it hasn't really.
He'll be back.
We'll see. Hopefully so, because he shot a 3 over yesterday as well. So I'm loved him, loved it, loved his charisma. So, is one to really kind of like newer golfer that I kind of started liking. And then he's just kind of, and that's what I was mentioning in one of the first podcasts, where you don't see that sustained success like Tiger had for such a long time. And then, of course, others before that, but certainly that long period. But anyone, you look at it, at my point, even just 4 to 5 year run, you haven't seen any of them. Like Rory, he had like a 1-2 year run essentially. Spieth had a 1 year. You see these guys.
Well, you know why that is. Here's my 2 cents, and of course, I don't follow the sport like you do and like others do. But I think what happened, Tiger Woods changed the game of golf, the athlete that plays the game, And so what happened is when he came on the scene, here's a golfer that is actually, he's working out, he's physical.
He's just not, essentially, he's not going out there and just playing golf. Like, like we're like a lot of us, you're just going to head out there, like especially old back in the day. You just head out to the course,
go out
and you're just swinging. You're not stretching. You're not doing anything.
No,
you get my point.
No,
They were just going out there and just hitting golf balls, and they were just good at it. They had a great swing.
Yeah.
Now you're saying, essentially, Tiger has this new approach, working out.
He's an athlete.
Literally, he's an athlete.
And because of that, he dominated. He blew everyone away because of his athleticism, his body build, his work ethic off the course and what he was doing, his training. So he came in and he dominated. But now what happened was he actually established the blueprint.
Exactly, right.
So now you have all these young lions coming up, and what are they doing? They're modeling that blueprint.
Yeah.
They're following that blueprint. So it's hard to dominate now. Like, I'm not sure you're going to see the dominance.
No, probably not.
Like you did from Tiger. So I think that, there's a lot of little Tigers now competing.
And it's hard to sustain that when you have so many of them.
Correct.
But on top of that, you have to sustain that. Where you have to keep that drive that you had winning.
Right.
Which is so hard to do for year after year after year after year.
That's right.
Literally, which, if you think about it, it is. Any sport.
That is correct.
To continue that drive of being, I'm the best, and there's someone's catching up with me, I've still got to be better than them, then you're still you've got to outwork everyone, essentially.
You got to outwork them. Correct.
Where are you going with, Doc?
Bubba.
A few people were mentioning that name. I'd love to see Bubba get another Masters win.
I don't count him out. I think this is a tournament he loves. He
big time.
Plays well in it, right?
I think he shot 1 under yesterday too. That was one of the names almost brought up. But
he had a pretty good round.
Yeah.
I also like. I'm kind of old school, Phil.
And then he had his best round in 2010. He shot 5 under.
Yeah, so don't count him out. He always seems to he always seems to come out of nowhere. It seems like and have a stellar tournament.
Exactly, literally lately in his older career now.
Correct.
He'll play just kind of, and then all of a sudden, boom, he's like what I was talking about, that past history, that kind of stock where all of a sudden you have that random spike. It's kind of like that. He has that random week where he's just like, boom, he's unbeatable, or he plays great.
Right.
Where he'll just kind of play, pretty good here, not great, okay, pretty good,
right.
not great. And
exactly.
then all of a sudden, wow, he's going to win the Masters of all tournaments.
Correct. So I don't count him out. And then you already mentioned Justin
Rose.
And then there's Justin, is it Thompson?
Justin Thomas?
Thomas?
I think, yeah. No.
I call them the Justin brothers.
Oh, yeah.
Who knows? Those are kind of my sleepers. I think might do something, but and I think Tiger. I think he'll probably have a good tournament. I see.
He needs it. I hope and for him for sure.
He definitely needs it.
And it's a nice consistent year.
Correct.
Well, which at the end of last year, and that's hopefully he can build up to that. Where it was at the end of last year where he finally started finding that. Hopefully this year he kind of picks it up maybe 2 months before that.
Right.
Then next year it's about this time where you're like, okay, maybe Tiger could actually, you know what I'm saying? See, because you're like talking about that gas in the tank. He just was finding it last year at the end.
Well, I think here's the deal, man. I think if he's actually in the hunt on Sunday, I think be careful. I think the old adrenaline and the blood can start going, and
it'd be nice to see. Like I said, even if I'd hate it. I'm like, he was so close, but I know that's only good and set up for good for the future. But I hope to see him there.
And that's kind of tough for me to say because I'm not a huge Tiger fan, but I think that he might have one. He might have one left in his hip pocket.
I hope he and I obviously for my sake because I used to love Tiger, but and just for the game, it really brings a lot of it brings viewership back. It brings more fun to the game. I mean, I guess anyone could be doing that, but it just seems like when he's doing it, because then the fans really get into it, and it just brings back excitement around the whole entire game.
Right.
So I hope he gets to where he can maybe win 2 more. Point being 4 years down the line, if he can just continue that, like I said last year, he finds it a little bit earlier this year than last year.
Right.
The next year he finds it a little bit earlier. Point being, I'd love to him win 2 more majors. So at the end of his career, there's that. Can he get? It's at least that discussion. Is he going to catch Jack? Can he at least get 2 more? You know what I'm saying?
Which at one time you thought he was going to blow Jack away.
Yeah. It was in the book 10 years ago, in 2009. He was about to win the PGA Championship. That was one of the last times which is crazy to think he was that close to winning a major. It was one of the last ones he was really in contention for.
Right.
That long ago, 2009.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, that was going to be number 15 in 2009.
Yeah, I think the game of golf is a better game of golf when Tiger is relevant.
Yeah, it just brings more excitement back to it when
Correct.
you have someone for whatever reason he's just. I don't know what it is. I mean, I know it's just his persona and what he does, but just the excitement for whatever reason elevates.
And I say the same thing. College football is better when Notre Dame is relevant.
There you go.
So I had to get my Notre Dame. You got your Arkansas thing in there, dude.
I agree with you. You got to have some of that. And to me, it's a tradition of Notre Dame and what they've done in the past, but then just having that name. I mean, it's just
Notre Dame.
It's great. It's
classic. That's right.
And talking about cycles where they were, because like we talked about, it's hard to keep that name up for so long when you win for so long. And then you talk about what we talked about too off the show, where Notre Dame's not going to get all the Alabama studs because they kind of have some credentials to meet.
Yeah, when you have some GPA requirements.
Yeah. So, but to see them they kind of dip for a while, but then right back up. And I mean, you get in the thought of it's like I've always said, and it starts A1A obviously from the top and it works your way down. So when you have a head coach, all things are going to be better. So there for a while they were struggling not getting good head coaches, but then when you get God, what is his name? Brian Kelly in.
Right.
I mean, boom, you're done. You're set.
You got to have the right fit.
Got to. So, we hadn't touched much on it, but we'll get to more of this, obviously, as the weeks go on. Hopefully we'll get Pat Bradley on. He can certainly help us with this.
Right.
Next subject, the NBA. The season is done.
Yes.
The playoffs are now locked. Eastern Conference has 2 of the best records for the first time in years, which is crazy to think. They have the top 2 records. And who would have thought?
Yeah, who would have? That's unheard of.
And then the names, the Bucks and the I know which obviously the Bucks, they had the players, so of course they were bound to be the top 2 teams. But the fact that the Bucks and the Raptors have the top 2 teams,
yeah, that's pretty amazing.
In the NBA, not even the Warriors. Yeah, the Warriors have now stepped down. They were in a battle out west. The Nuggets the whole year they had some at times were right there with them for the best record.
Right.
If not had the best record, I'm thinking at times over the Warriors. But the Warriors kind of pushed the pedal to the metal so they'd get that 1 seed. You could see toward the end of the season. So. But great finish. I mean, at least out west, or I should say out east. Out west was wrapped up. I think it was like a 9-game. I have it pulled up right here. Let's look at the difference out west, which it was terrible. Out west, because there for a while the Lakers were like 2 or 3 games back, and the 8th seed in the West. Obviously 8 and 8. 8 teams make it in. The Clippers were the 8th seed at 48 and 34. 9 games back and there was no race. Usually, you know what I mean. There's usually a race. There was no race there. Sacramento, LA, and that's the thing. How about, and we'll get into that in a minute. The Lakers, LeBron, now Magic's out, but we're gonna get into that in a minute too. That's another crazy topic. But then out east, there was it was about a 2-game difference with Charlotte and Miami trying to get in. Of course, Miami was wanting to get in because of Dwayne Wade. It's last year he's retiring. And him and Dirk actually had their final. I forgot to bring that up. Did you see that? They had their final home games this last week. Both scored 30 points in their final, which you see that these players, and if they're all-time greats, Kobe scored like 60 in his, you know what I mean? They're going to go out on top. They're not going to go out like a dud and score 12 and 2 rebounds. And plus, I'm done.
Plus, the defense kind of takes an all-star game approach.
That too. That too. Especially if you're playing a team that's not in the playoffs.
Right. It's kind
of like, hey.
Let him have his game.
They're like me and you, Gardner. I'm like, hey, have fun. Like it's like shoot around, essentially.
That's right.
So, but good to see at least both of them have, great home finales. Yes. But back to the race. 8 teams make it in, obviously on each side as they usually do, which obviously some years, there for a while, I think the NBA game has now picked back up, and it is a little bit better game, but there for a while, it was like you could probably just do 4 and 4 because seeds, I'll never forget this, seeds 6, 7, and 8 were below 500.
Well, that's right.
Well below 500 sometimes.
Even Charles Barkley used to say it's horrible. The product is horrible.
That's horrible. Terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, now look at this, and let me just to mention, like I told you, the 8th seed, the 7th and 8th seed, which is crazy to think San Antonio now down to the 7th seed, 48 and 34. They're 14 games above freaking 500. That's amazing as a 7th and 8th seed. That's what you want to see.
Correct.
That's quality basketball.
That's right.
Not where I remember literally you would see probably about a 36 and 40. Where I'm looking at some of these records, about a 36 and 46, or sometimes even it seemed like a 33 and 49 was in. Like you'd be like, who's making the playoffs? Like what's the point of this? The 1 seed's about to destroy this 8 seed.
Right.
And then what I used to love, and I wish they'd go back to shorten up this 2-month playoff race we're about to have.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
The 5 games in the first round. What is the need for 7 games when we know half the, well, at least there for a while, when the 1 seed's about to destroy an 8 seed? Now that's obviously a little bit more competition, but there for a while, it's like, let's just go back to 5 games. Like, because I remember that in the 90s watching all the time. I watched the playoffs because of Jordan, but
which they probably should do it anyway.
What?
They should do it anyway.
Anyway, that's what I'm saying. Like, they should just go back to that.
Right.
Anyway, and like that, what I was saying, that it just lasts forever. I mean, really, 2 more months of basketball, which is nuts to think.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's crazy.
2 more. I mean, we're going to be going to Father's Day.
Right.
We'll be talking about this at Mother's Day. We'll be talking about this at Father's Day.
Oh, my goodness.
So that's what I want to dive into it too deep. But while it did just start, I did want to kind of touch base over it. and kind of go over what we may think may happen in the playoffs. So I know you haven't had probably much time to think about it, but I'm going to go ahead and kind of go with an upset here. I don't think it's too much of an upset. I guess it wouldn't be this year, but I'm going to go with the Nuggets to actually knock off the Warriors. Warriors do not go.
I think that's a good pick.
I don't think the Warriors go 5 straight.
Yeah.
No, it's not going to surprise me if the Warriors even win it all. No, I mean, hello, they should. They have some of the best players in the world.
They should, but I don't think they will.
No, they have one of the best coaches in the world, 3 of the best players in the world, or at least 2 for sure, with Curry and Durant.
Right.
2 of the top 3, 4, 5, however you want to, of course, Westbrook, LeBron, however you want to word it, or, anyway. Regardless, you got top players and top coach. But I'm picking Warriors. I should say I'm picking the Nuggets and the Bucks in the finals, with the Bucks over the Nuggets. And of course, I love the Nuggets win.
Say that again. You're picking who in the finals?
Nuggets and the Bucks.
Oh, okay.
The Bucks over the Raptors in the Eastern Conference Finals.
That's going to be a good.
It is, and it could be the Raptors, but I'm going with Bucks.
I think I'm going with Bucks too in the finals.
And I'm going to go with the Bucks over the Nuggets. And so Bucks win it all over the Nuggets, which I love Denver as in being from Denver. You'd think my heart would be tied to the Nuggets. It isn't in any form, but I'm going with the Bucks over the Nuggets in the finals.
I like that pick.
We'll see.
I'm not going to argue with you on that. I like that because I can't even bring myself to pick the Warriors. I just can't even do it.
Mm-hmm. And I almost did just go, well, and that's like I said, it's just kind of like that homer pick.
I just can't do it.
But I'm thinking this year, just because they have had a down year, I know they may be a little bit more.
Why do you think they had a down year?
Because it is less wins. Less wins means down year to me.
No, they did have a down year, but why?
I just don't think the chemistry isn't all there.
And why is that?
Well, there's a lot of
same players. Why is that?
Well, go ahead and you can talk. I've been talking a lot more. It seems I always talk.
One word: ego.
Oh well, yeah, from all of them.
Ego.
I mean, when you have players like
egos can only exist for so long together.
Yeah, Durant comes over from. That's huge ego. Then you mix him with the goober out there, Donkey. What's his name? I always call him Avery. We always compare him to Donkey from Shrek.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking.
Oh my gosh, how is it?
Come on, man.
Anyway, I don't think Curry's got that big of a.
Everybody knows who you're talking about. My son can't stand him either. He complains about everything. What's his name? Come on, man. Draymond Green.
Draymond Green. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was literally looking it up. I'm pulling it up.
Right.
But anyway,
yeah.
I don't think Curry honestly has that big of. I think it's Green. It's Durant. They have a little bitter war against each other. They don't seem to like each other. Kerr just for whatever reason doesn't seem like, at least, and this is where I think Phil could manage egos. That's where I think Phil was a great coach. He was I don't think so much with the Kobe and Shaq thing. That's why I think he said, hey, one of these guys are going to go, and it's going to be sorry. He was like,
right.
Sorry. You see what I'm saying?
And the other thing is, I would say to Kerr, stop focusing on politics and start worrying about basketball. Forget, I'm so tired. I get so tired of that. Just, gosh, focus on basketball, dude.
Yeah, but I just think they just have a little too much going on. And that's the other thing I never liked about the, what do you want to call these teams that are built? What are these teams called that are built? The super teams. Oh my gosh, everything just slipping my mind.
Yeah, right.
Like every day,
right.
It seems like. But these made teams, these elite teams that are made to be these super teams.
And who started that phenom? Who started that?
The big three.
Who started that whole concept of building teams?
Well, it seemed like one of the first ones I remember was 2008, the Celtics.
Yeah, but I'm just talking in sports in general. The evil empire.
The Yankees?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's when you thinking about baseball. I remember that in the late 90s, early 2000s. That's one thing they were always doing.
Yeah.
And to me, that's kind of it seems like anyway. It seems like it's slowly but surely has kind of gone away. Building the teams, at least in baseball, they're trying to get. Some teams still kind of do it, but you don't.
I much prefer the Oakland Athletics approach.
Yes, exactly. But you don't see teams like even Kerr almost because of thinking of Steve. But Steve Kent, which is funny, his names are similar. Steve Kent, Steve Kerr. But when Steve brought it up on the show, even when the Tigers there for a while were getting the Milky Cabrera, they were getting those a ton of.
Right.
You don't see that anymore, where players are just kind of fading to certain organizations, and that seems to hopefully have kind of died out. And you're just signing maybe 1 or 2 max players, and then kind of building around them. Because heck anymore, which obviously they do have unlimited funds, and there's no. What am I trying to say? I want to say box office. There's no salary cap. I know, I'm thinking movies. There's no salary cap. Sorry, there's no salary cap. So, but point being, when you pay Trout $450, you're not going to be going paying someone else $200. Then you know what I'm saying? It's kind of hard when you are now paying players $450 freaking million. It's hard to build mega teams when you have
Right.
already one dude taking up $450 million.
He's taking a lot of money, man.
Yeah, so I know you do have no salary cap and pretty much unlimited. I mean, you want to say unlimited funds, but but when you've already paying someone that much money,
As my dad would say, you're going to have to sell a lot of hot dogs.
a lot of popcorn and hot dogs. So who are you going with all the way? I'm going to go with the Bucks. Are you going to go?
I'm going with the Bucks.
So we'll go with the Bucks.
Yes.
Like it.
And I like your Nuggets pick. I can't. I'm going. You know what? I'm going the same. I'm going the same. Man.
Nuggets over Warriors.
I'm going
Bucks
go,
over.
Yes.
Raptors.
Yes.
Bucks over then Nuggets in the finals. Hey, it'd be great. We'd be living it up 2 months from now.
I am, because I just can't go. I say that I want your pick to come true. I want the Nuggets to do it. It'd be great for them. In fact, I've been cheering them for the last few years. Actually, when back when what's his name was on the team, the dude that split and went to Boston.
Irving. Not Irving.
No, come on, man. He was the stud in Denver, man.
In Denver.
Yes.
Carmelo Anthony.
No.
In Denver. In Denver, and then went where?
To Boston.
To the Celtics.
Yes.
Denver to the Celtics. Now I'm wanting to look this up.
Come on, look it up, man.
Denver to the Celtics. I'm thinking Kevin Garnett, but that was the Timberwolves.
No.
Paul Pierce. I'm thinking of that big three right there.
Wait a minute. No, I'm not. I got it wrong. I was thinking of the Utah Jazz, the dude from the Utah Jazz that went to Boston.
The Jazz to the Boston. Now I'm really confused. Now I'm even more confused.
Look it up, man. Come on, man. Don't leave me hanging out there. Come on, look it up.
Jazz trade to Celtics.
Oh my gosh.
Well, now we're.
Come on, you look it up.
Well, I'm trying right here. The reception here in the Dallas School of Music is not good for my Sprint. My Sprint says no can do. All right, so here we go. Reports. Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward.
Yes.
Boom.
Yes.
Now makes perfect sense.
Okay.
Because when I think Utah Jazz, I'm not thinking of big players over the last few years, but they did have Gordon Hayward.
So I had that mixed up there, man.
There you go. No, it's perfect. You were all over it. So yeah, what were you mentioning that for?
Well, I've been the Nuggets and the Utah Jazz. I've been kind of secretly cheering for the last few years.
Gotcha.
Both those teams.
Gotcha.
I would love to see both those teams have success in the finals.
Yeah, and then where they are too. I mean, they're not in big city markets, so seeing especially for NBA, so it'd be cool to see either one of those wins certainly, or even obviously Milwaukee, Denver.
Milwaukee, it'd be great, man.
So, got to get into it,
and it'd be great for the Bucks, man, because the Brewers may actually win the World Series.
How crazy is that?
Yeah.
On top of
could you imagine Milwaukee winning 2
Yeah.
championships in 1 year?
And I was thinking this too because when Baylor won the women's national championship, I was like, Texas is going to have both national championships.
Yeah, right.
If Texas Tech then would have won, that would have been crazy.
That would have
been
awesome.
What's on nuts on top of it, it only would have been Texas anyway, as a state, their second tournament championship.
Wow.
Only other team was Texas Western. Remember the 665 whatever. That Texas hasn't ever won it. Baylor, Texas Tech.
Wow.
Not one college, only one ever has won the NCAA tournament from the state of Texas. One. Arkansas has as many championships, which is crazy to think.
Baseball, though, is a different story for Texas.
Yes, that's a different story. I'm just thinking, though, it is kind of nuts, though, to think.
Yeah, it is.
But it would have been crazy if Baylor and Texas Tech both held the women's and men's championship. Right. So, got to. Stutter Dud segment.
Okay, let's do it, man.
The Stud or Dud segment.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right, got to get to it. To me, and that's what I meant to tease earlier, and I did kind of tease because we always get into it. But are you kidding me? The first supposed base clearing brawl. What brawl was that?
First of all, baseball brawls are pretty weak to begin with.
Well, there are
right?
some that have been great in the past.
Yeah,
there are some, but I guess those are the iconic ones you remember. Because most of them are like this.
But
there are a bunch of I'm gonna run, get in your face, and go, hey, hoo, hoo. A bunch of cavemen running around out there.
Baseball players, they run out there and then they go, wait a minute, what am I doing?
How much am I making a year? I'm worth like 300 mil Puig or whatever. I'm like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah, right.
I injure an arm, I'm done. They're going, well, at least it's guaranteed. But yeah, that is so funny. They call it a brawl and it's labeled. You see all these things was bringing up. I'm like, that's not what brawl? Was there one punch thrown? I didn't see one.
No, it was a weird.
I thought, and then when I was watching it finally, because I didn't see it live, so I'm like, oh, well, cool. I saw.
Well, you know why it all ensued, right? You know what, right?
But when Puig, I was gonna say though, I thought when I finally saw it, I thought when Puig did his little U-shaped thing and did his run, I was like, oh, here we go. He's finally there's a punch finally gonna be thrown.
Right.
No, just a bunch of chest bumping.
Yeah, right.
And so that is such a. And then here's my and it gets 2 games. We'll go ahead. What?
Well, there's a few things to unpack here.
Unpack it.
Okay, let's back up to the home run.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The utility player, I can't think of his name right now, man. I mean, rips.
Yeah.
Goes yard, right?
Yep.
Stands in the batter's box and just enjoys the moment.
Why not?
And watches the ball go.
Yeah.
Of course, a pitcher what?
Why though? I don't get their need to get upset over this.
Yeah.
Talking about ego.
Right. The pitcher doesn't like it.
Yeah, doesn't.
So now you know it's coming the next at bat. He comes in on him.
Why? I don't get this. It's just baseball. It's like, it's like ingrained into these guys' heads that this is what we're supposed to do. He goes yard. He taunts me, kind of, sort of. I'm going to drill the next dude.
Yes. Well, it's the battle between old school and new school.
See, in my new school, I would be like the Rodman thought because I'm fun and I'm goofy, obviously. I would be, as soon as he did that, I'd be like, I'd clap him. Yeah, you're the man. I would just, get on around the. You did that. You went yard. I would.
You mean if you were the pitcher, you'd be
yes, I would psychologically. He would be like, literally, WTF. He'd be like, this dude. And I'm like, yeah. And then in my head, I'm going, next time you get up here, ain't gonna happen again. But I'm in a psychologically, mentally mess with him. So the next time I do face him. He's like this.
Well, see, I think baseball.
Baseball's they're not gonna do that. They're immediately just gonna go get mad, and then he's gonna drill the next guy. That's not gonna do anything. That's my point. It's not ever gonna. What's that changing?
Yeah.
You're the dude that just hit a home run's going. He is that much more ready to face you again. The batter is
correct. Well, okay. A couple thoughts on that. Baseball. You know the idea that
stud catch. By the way,
that's a stud catch. The idea that a guy, when he hits a cannon, right? I mean, a blast.
Yeah.
You got to let him enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's like
it's like Ken Griffey Jr. and he sit there and stare. Then you're like, well, what are you doing? You're being a dick, Griffey.
Right.
But this dude doesn't do this every day. It'd be like if I did it, I'd be like, I'd probably just like faint and fall over and like, dude, how are you getting out of the batter's box anytime soon? I'm like,
well, look, what the batter does in the batter's box when he hits a cannon and he enjoys it, is it not equivalent to a monster slam in basketball where the guy hangs on the
rim? Or when he kind of gets out, kind of gets in the guy's face kind of a little bit and looks at him like, hey,
right.
I just slammed right
and
over
you know,
you.
when they hang on the rim and they do the pull up, you know, it's part of the game.
Yeah.
Fans love to see it. It's an in your face kind of thing. It's the, nail in the coffin. It's the statement, whatever you want, whatever phrase you want to use to describe it. I think the same thing. Baseball players have got to get together and realize that when a cannon is hit, let him hang on the rim.
Yeah, exactly right.
Just let him hang on the rim.
Exactly.
And then strike him out next time.
You think Michael Jordan would have got a basketball if someone dunked on him and threw it in his face? He couldn't wait till he could get down the court and slam it right back on you. Then when you come back on him, he's going to try to block you. You're not going to go, I'm going to throw a ball at you and make you hurt.
But now the pitchers in baseball would say, and it's too bad we don't have Steve Kent here.
Right. Yeah, I wish Steve was here.
Because he would have
like, Steve, come on, man. You got to get over this dog.
Right. Pitchers would say, yeah, but when we strike you out, we don't stare you down and we're not like a jerk to you. And I would say at that moment, if it's a crucial time in the game and you just blow it by a stud at the plate, when you're walking off, you have every right to do your open mouth thing.
But that's the thing,
celebrate.
too. It's like, what is a pitcher supposed to do when you strike someone out? When you hit a home run, you kind of do that. You kind of like stare at it or maybe stare at the pitcher. When you strike someone out, what you can do as a pitcher, go, I mean, there's not too much to come back with, though, anyway. So it's like, anyway, but you know what I'm saying. It's like, like you were saying, hit the home run, let them have their fun, let them enjoy their
it's the moment on the rim.
Yeah, they're in the moment. They kind of can't. It's kind of hard not to.
It's the moment on the rim.
So, getting back to it, 2-game suspension for what Puig did. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, well, Puig, he doesn't even know why he was running around there.
Hey, no, that's exactly right. You're going to suspend a poor kid.
He just saw a bunch of people out there. He's going to get.
He's like a puppy.
Yeah, he wants to get involved in that.
He's like, I see people. Yeah,
right. I know. After the game, he was going, now what was that all about?
Yeah, right. But 2-game suspension. That's terrible. 2 games.
Yeah,
Dud move by Puig. That's his move was just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, he was.
Then Dud moved by the league. 2-game suspension for what? You're trying to tell people not to go run around and chest bump?
Yeah, Puig was thinking a crowd and cameras.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I'm going to get in on this.
Hey, I play in Cincinnati, and I'm not getting too much limelight anymore. I'm not out in L.A.
Yeah, right.
I'm not in L.A. anymore. So yeah, I thought it was 2 dud moves.
Oh, it was bad.
Didn't like it, but hey, it is what it is. Like I said, it literally reminded me of something. Reminded me of wrestling. I was like, man, am I watching WrestleMania here? I mean, we're gonna actually put on a show here. Or are we just gonna act like we're gonna do something? Which I mean, those guys don't, you know what I mean? They actually do. But a lot of the time, they're building up to it. So I was like, this was a build up to what? Nothing. Just a boo, like a balloon. Just woo.
Yeah, it was a letdown.
Anyway, and then getting to it, we mentioned earlier, Magic Johnson.
Yes.
Resigns. President of basketball. President of basketball operations. Yeah, literally needed to. I heard this the other day. And why I'm bringing it up? Stephen A. Smith. Your man, Stephen A.
Yeah, Stephen A.
What? LeBron needs to now question his future in LA. What kind of example are we setting for little kids?
Oh my gosh! Wait a minute, Stephen A. said this?
Yes.
So, and his point being what?
What? So we can go somewhere else to try to win? Because that's all we're supposed to do is just go float around to places so we can win?
Yeah.
It'd be nice to be able to have that opportunity. I wish I could be like, hey, ESPN, I need to get hired. I need to win some because I haven't been doing great lately. Is that cool if you pick me up? We have a podcast.
So Stephen A. is basically saying to LeBron, take your ball and go to another playground.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
yeah,
are you kidding me?
Okay, yeah, right.
That's terrible. I hated it. I couldn't believe I was hearing that. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm
taking my ball. I'm taking my ball. I'm taking my ball and I'm going home.
Yeah, yeah. Talking about little kid syndrome about with the pit. I mean, like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Great move by Magic. He needs to get on to doing what he's going to get back into what he's supposed, like social media type stuff, social life, not running a basketball organization. I'm sorry. Some can do it. Some are not that great. And like my man, Mike, as much as I want to say he's kind of helped the Wizards lately, or I should say the Hornets is, his team that he owns, Charlotte.
Right.
He's not done that great. Get my point. He's not been a great.
Well,
owner.
it's not a crossover. It doesn't automatic success on the.
You see some where you never would have thought. Steve Kerr, he's an analyst for a while, going, okay, wow, he's found his success after the. You know what I mean? Whereas, if I name Steve Kerr, of course, you're going to know who you are, but that was the point guard for. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you know what though, man? Let me. I'm just going to throw this out about Steve Kerr.
You don't think he's that great of a coach?
No.
So 5-10 years from now, I
do not, and I think he inherited a program that was primed.
Yeah.
No different than the Boston Red Sox this last year. Not to take anything away from Cora, who managed the Red Sox, won the World Series. But honestly, man, I'm telling you what, that team.
You're taking over something that's already kind of loaded.
That team was loaded.
Yeah. So regardless, back to the point. Yeah, you're right. It's not always an easy for anyone. It's hard to make that transition from being a great player, all-time stud player, but certainly a dud.
Right.
President of basketball. I'm not that he was terrible.
In the record,
it's not like I said. It wasn't.
The proof's in the pudding, man.
Yeah. And the coaches he's hiring, like Luke Walton, I don't think Luke Walton's that great of a coach.
No.
And not for LeBron James. LeBron James, if he's going to finally have a head coach, which he really needs, Luke Walton's not going to be it. He's not going to be listening.
Texas Tech coach would have been a better.
Chris Beard for sure.
Chris Beard, right?
Yeah. So I think they need a new head coach. LeBron does need to stay in LA. He doesn't need to leave and jump ship somewhere else now. And they need to.
If he wants to prove his greatness, he stays in LA and bring home a title.
Yeah, I said that already.
Come on,
just
right?
stay in Cleveland where he was. That's where you're freaking from, and try to win one or two more on your way out.
Right.
If you do, you do. You don't, you don't.
It's like
then he goes to LA because why? I don't really know.
It drives me nuts. It's what I've said about Phil. It's what I said about Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan retires. He goes, oh, where do I go now? Oh, Kobe. Yeah, I'm going to go coach out there.
Yeah. Hey. Nice new young guy. Looks like Jordan.
Yeah, I think I'll do that.
Yeah, I just don't get. Obviously, why people would say
with a big man called Shaq.
Yeah, well, they did pick him up. Yeah, exactly. But yes, I get why he kind of went to LA in a way, but I don't why as far as team wise. I mean, the team had nothing. Doesn't have a head coach. I'm sorry, I don't think Lou Walton's that great of a head coach. Didn't have a great surrounding cast. So it's like, why are you leaving?
One word. One word, my friend. What? One word. Ego.
Yeah, I just. Stay where you're from in Cleveland, which I can't imagine. If you're in Cleveland and you still like LeBron James, I don't know how. He's left you twice, left you high and dry twice.
I don't know how.
Won one championship for thank gosh.
That's why I love the fact that Mike Trout signs the deal with the Angels.
You see players
with
like that.
2 years left on his deal, right? Signs long-term commitment that I'm going to stay here and I'm going to play for the Angels.
Yeah.
He didn't say to the Angels $430 million or whatever ridiculous number it was. He didn't say, you know what?
I need 500.
That's good, guys.
But they're offering me 432.
I'm going to wait because I think I can break the 500 barrier.
Right.
No, right? That's what's wrong with athletics today, right? LeBron,
play for the love of the game, which no one hardly does anymore.
Yeah, and how many millions do you need?
And that's what trust me, I was saying that back even just Brock. Remember the name Brock Osweiler?
Yes,
the Broncos go away, then floated around at whatever. Well, right after Peyton Manning, left we had him, and we were going to re-sign him. Just a quick little tidbit. He was making like $500,000, because he's a rookie contract, so he's not making much. $500,000 to $1 million a year. Totally understand.
Right.
Well, now all of a sudden he's going to get re-signed the year after Peyton retires, so he can be a new heir apparent. Well, he's pissed off because we kind of replaced him in the playoff, whenever it was, or right at the end of the season, because Peyton was healthy kind of again. We're like, we're going to go back with Peyton. You did that good run for us, but we're going to push you. He got, once again, these egos. You're making $500,000 a year, bro. You're no one. I'm sorry. I know you think you are, but you're not Peyton Manning. You are not Peyton Manning. You are. Any coach in the world is going to go, Brock who? Yeah, I'm putting Peyton Manning in. Anyway, even if he is throwing ducks, Peyton Manning, he just has. You get my point.
Right.
Anyway, end of that season, the offseason, instead of re-signing with Denver, going from $500,000 a year to we're offering him like 15-ish mil a year, from $500,000 to $15 million.
Yeah, right.
He says, no, I want to go make $17 million down in Houston. Oh, good job, because where you at now? You're floating around all. I mean, you probably made a little money, but you get my point.
Right.
I'm like, bad choice.
Right.
$500,000 to $15 million enough where you're just only making $500,000 is enough for me.
Right.
And now you're going to make $15 million and you need $2 more mil?
Right.
Dude.
Come on.
Dude.
Right.
Dud. Anyway, great show, but on next week's show, got to, we'll see who wins the Masters and how great our predictions were.
Right.
One thing I wanted to do this week, I wish I would have brought up last week with the culmination of the Final Four. Best shoes ever. Favorite shoes of all time. We're going to do our Final Four bracket. I want you to come up with your favorite four. This one and this one versus, this one versus this one.
So
this one versus this one.
You want me to?
And I'm going to do mine. So I'll have like this pair of Jordans versus this pair of Air Max, this pair of whatever versus this.
Okay.
And then they'll meet each other. And so you do your own Final Four at home this week.
All right.
Who meets in the championship game, and then your favorite pair of shoes of all time. Whether they're your childhood memory, where some you got now. Pick your favorite. See, what I'm thinking is next year it'll be fun to do something like this.
Yeah, my favorite. Come on, man. Converse All-Stars.
There you go. Well, come on. You can't be telling people already. We're doing it next week.
I mean, those are classics.
Well,
I grew up in
and then we got to come up with a reason why. See, so don't let everyone know. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I've kind of teased people with you might see an Air Max or a Jordan in mine, but top four ever.
All right.
You pick your favorite four. Who wants to score? And here's how we should do it: 1 seed, 2 seed, or 1 seed versus 4 seed, 2 seed versus 3 seed.
Okay.
So you get your top ever.
All right, just send that to me in an email now.
I will, my brother. We're teasing that for friends or for our fan, for the fans. Next week on tap.
Okay.
Final Four, and I'll do mine. You'll do yours. Right. Top shoes ever. I love shoes, and that's the thing.
I know
you're a shoe
guy.
Every week, guys, I'm wearing a new pair of shoes, so I'm going to see how many episodes I last until I'm out of my shoes. So every week you're going to see a new pair.
All right.
What?
Just go buy another pair. You'll never.
Yeah, well, no, I've got about 70. So
wow.
Yeah. So we're seeing. I'm trying to let people see how many shows. I think I can get. My point being, I think I can get through the end of the year without wearing a different pair of shoes.
Wow. Impressive.
That is on, and also we have another Final Four next week. We can talk about it if you want to. It's the men's Frozen Four. That's all. I thought that was so funny. It's the Final Four in college hockey. I may bring it up for fun and why we do not talk hockey.
Yeah, why?
We love sports though, but just go to the South. We're in Dallas. Even though we have a great team.
Yeah, that's an interesting.
It's just not. If we were up north, we would be talking a lot more hockey.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good topic. We'll bring that. Let's talk about that.
Also, second guest. We may finally have one next week. Don't
jinx it, man. Don't jinx it.
We'll tease them, though, too. We got guests on the horizon already.
Oh, yeah.
We got some David Basil. We got
Rudy Jaramillo.
Pat Bradley. We got multiple on the way. We'll have Steve back in for sure.
Steve?
But next week, we could have our second guest. So, also, lastly, besides having our second guest next week, don't forget to follow us.
Oh, yes.
Subscribe. iTunes. YouTube. Instagram. Twitter. Facebook's rolling.
Yes.
Check out the website, studindud.com.
Going to be a lot of updates on the website this week, so check it out.
Do it, boss. Do it.
Yep.
Well, until next week, I've had a great time. I can't wait till Tuesday. We need to get in some music talk, too, and talk about our lessons and what we've been doing.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of sport talk, which is great.
Yep.
But we got.
That's what I was saying. It's been that month of a lot of sports going on.
A lot of sports. It's
that
time of year.
We'll kind of let back a little bit on the reins and kind of bring up some music over the next, and some music and movies too. Because guess what? Here in the next couple of weeks, my big movie finally comes out.
Yeah, because we put
Avengers Endgame, baby.
I know it's your deal, man. So we put entertainment underneath that music label, And then, of course, some food, man.
I'm hungry already.
I am too.
It's time to get out of here and go get some lunch box.
Let's do it,
Let's do it, Doc. All right, till next week. I'm Josh Smith.
I'm Doc Lawrence.
We'll see you next time.
See you, buddy.